Hello, everybody. Excuse me. I'm getting sick because my kid is sick, and that's what happens. Happy Friday, December 12th, 2025. I am Manila Chan. That over there is Ted Rall. You are tuned into the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short, because we do bring you too much information. Welcome to all the deprogrammers. I hope you guys stick around for more Ted. Actually, it's more. It's all Ted. It's all Ted. Anything after this today, Ted, or DMZ's only on Thursday?
This is it. The
Okay.
weekend begins.
We got a question right off the top, asking if we were ever gonna do a call-in show like you guys just did on Deprogram. And Ted and I have been talking about. I mean, we have to experiment somewhere. So Robbie is experimenting on Deprogram. So once all the kinks get worked out, I think then we can try it on the other shows that Robbie produces. But no sense in experimenting all over.
We'll do it.
Yeah, for sure. We just want to make sure we get it right on one place first before we try to propagate calling in everywhere else. But definitely, Ted and I were trying to do that way back on the Radio Sputnik days. But that
we weren't allowed.
Yeah, they just wanted to keep things rolling. So, but we weren't the boss there, and that's okay. But we are the bosses here. So that's it's something we're totally keen on doing. So we'll figure that out. We'll ask Robbie once all the technical stuff gets sorted out. So we are live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Please be sure to hit the like, the follow, the subscribe, and the share button so you can help our little show continue to grow. With that, let's speed through. I've got a sick kid, Ted. Like all the pukes, the poops, the fevers.
I am so sorry, Manila.
I am so tired. I did not sleep. It was like every 2 hours I was up. Like,
oof. Good times.
I know. You still remember those, even though you have a young adult?
Oh, are you kidding? I would never forget that. It's hell. I mean, it's like just absolutely the worst. I mean,
even all these years, you still remember like how exhausted you felt? Because they say parents forget, and that's why you end up having more kids.
Women forget.
Really?
I was invited. This is a weird story, but I'll just tell it anyway. So it is the TMI show. So I had a friend who his wife was pregnant, and I was invited to witness the birth at their apartment. She gave birth in the tub in their apartment. And so
natural.
Au natural, yes, old school. So I was like, all right. So anyway, so without getting into detail, the point is that we saw the whole thing. It took a few hours. It wasn't that very long. It was surprising how easy it went because she was a skinny little thing, and I thought it would be rough. But no problem. It was like she came out of there like a 16-year-old girl at the prom. About that one who dropped him and like went straight back to the prom, like in New Jersey. It was like that. She was like totally like, boom 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 done. But so she was
what number was that?
Giving birth, so she was screaming and cursing and
what number was that kid? Was it number one, number two? Number one,
and hating on her husband, like, how could you have done this to me? I hate you. Screaming like, you asshole.
I hate and she was
like blood curdling screams, right?
Oh God, yeah.
2 or 3 hours later, we're sitting around, and she goes, that wasn't really that bad. I'm like, you're joking?
That quickly?
I'm like, you're joking, right? And she's like, yeah, no, that was cool. I'm like, she's like, I'd do that again tomorrow. I'm like, so that's the thing you're talking about, like at extremists, right?
Same day that she was just like,
hours,
hours.
And unlike us, she hadn't been having anything to drink, right? So, needless to say, I had to pile on some heavy spirits to get through that.
Oh boy. Well, I know it happens because that's what propagates mankind, right? Like that's
what they say.
Nature does that, and that's why kids,
hilarious,
like especially your own, when you sniff the tops of their heads, the pheromones that come out, it's like it's intoxicating to primarily the mom, and that's what brings on the mama bear, like the natural instinct. You sniff and you get the baby pheromones, and you're like you're hooked. You're hooked, and you'll scratch and kill anything that you get the mama bear instinct. And
But other people's babies smell good too.
no, it smells good. And yeah, there are people that sometimes other people's babies will trigger, at least for a woman, I know that you sniff and you're like, oh, I
Well, my
want.
mom said that when she was breastfeeding me, she would go to the supermarket, and if she heard another like young baby screaming, that she would start to
She would
lactate.
lactate.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Um, I I tested this because I went back to work at RT, I don't know, when my son was like 12 weeks maybe. Um, and they built me a special lactation room. I mean, can you imagine another corporate entity doing that,
Oh
Ted,
yeah,
to
sure.
accommodate one of their anchors?
They would totally do that at MS Now. Not really.
They built me a lactation room with a compute with monitors and everything, so I could still edit and do whatever I needed to do while I'm pumping raw, raw, raw. Like they went out of their way to accommodate moms. The Russians do this. I don't know if people understand. Like the Russians are really big on family,
Yeah,
and and they are really supportive of motherhood. If I were
Imagine.
I know, they some of my colleagues that were Russians, therefore subject to the Russian employment laws back home in the motherland, Ted, they got a year's worth of maternity benefits. But me, the American, I got lucky for me because there's no federal law. They gave me 12 weeks. That's something in and of itself, right? But if you were from the motherland and you're subject to those laws, the employment laws at the headquarters, those women got a year's worth of benefits. So they could take like 6 full months, like at I think it was like 4 months fully paid, and then it became like it amortized down, right? Till it's like a full year. Your job was safe and waiting for you for a year. But anyway, the point is I tested this with my son. I would sense that he was like hungry or crying at home, and I would start lactating.
That's amazing.
I don't know about other people's kids, and I would test this, and I would call my mom, grandma was playing nanny, and I would ask, like, if he's crying, is he hungry? What's happening? And sure enough, it was like I had radar, like I had a sensor, and they were just like lactation.
Right.
Which, by the way, that was the only time I ever had big boobs, and I'm not sure. I liked the way it looked. I didn't enjoy the physics. Like I did not, and yeah, it was in my way a lot. Like you couldn't really move around like this. Like they were in your way. Robbie would probably fight me on this and be like, they're great when they're like that. But yeah, I'm not used to that. I looked down, I was like, wow,
I have to
impressive.
admit, I was like so excited about that. But they weren't for me, is the problem.
A greedy little bastard son. All right,
like,
so we'll leave our weird Friday talk.
But.
Really? Did you look in envy, honestly, as
100
husband?
million%. I was just like,
really?
Oh yeah.
You guys look like at your nursing spouse or partner, and you're like,
yeah, like you're gonna eat that or what? Yeah.
Really? You guys do that?
We're gross. What can I say? Men are yucky.
So gross. Men are so I don't
We're
get
disgusting.
it. I don't like.
No one should have anything to do with us. We're the worst.
You're looking at a nursing mom, and you guys think those things.
It's the TMI show for sure.
I don't get men. All right. And I haven't had any
sleep. Men don't even get men. Men are like, what's wrong with us? Why are we like this? I don't even understand.
Plus, I'm running on sleep. I'm just like ready to be like,
are you punchy?
Guys are fucking sick. Like you're looking at nursing milking breasts and being like,
well, yeah.
I wonder what that tastes like.
Well, yeah. Hello.
Oh my God.
Of course.
I was just kidding.
Oh, well.
You're serious?
1,000,000%. Yeah. Yeah.
That is a different TMI.
Yeah.
Topic.
Well, now you know.
Like, I've seen TV shows joke about this, but I have never asked any of my male friends if that was true. But Ted is laying it out there. Well, thank you for your candor.
I mean, maybe
Ted.
it's just me. Maybe I'm the freakazoid. That's possible.
Defer to the Rumble Room and see if other men agree with you. They look at their nursing spouse and they're kind of like,
Like, I'd tap that. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, I have tapped that. I want to tap it again.
No, not even tap. I mean, the breast part. Like, you guys look at the baby and you're like, I would try
the
that.
Breast part. I'm like,
I would try that.
Let me get it. Oh, have I tried? Did I try? You're not asking if I did try it.
No, I didn't have. I don't know if I want to know, but I'm saying
100% I would. Yeah, of course.
But like when you look,
it's not about getting the. It's not about getting the milk. That's just a curiosity thing. It's more just like they're. You want to slurbalate them, and they're huge. So hello.
God.
Duh.
I learned so many weird things about men from Ted and Robbie. Like, because it's things I don't know. Obviously, because I'm not a guy. I have guy friends, obviously, and they're just things that don't come up because I don't know to ask them, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. As Donald Rumsfeld said, there are known unknowns and unknown unknowns. And Ted and Robbie always reveal my unknown unknowns live on air. And I'm like, I've never thought of that. So these are the types of brain-bending conversations we have on the TMI show.
That's right.
Every day, folks, especially on Friday. All right, so let's.
At all.
You shouldn't be. I think that's great that like you can be as real Ted. Like just put it out there. Like, yeah, I looked at nursing boobs and was like, I want some of that.
I seriously doubt that there's any straight man who feels differently.
You're probably right.
And I mean, there's lots of straight men who have opinions that are about sex that I disagree with radically. Like, for example, the ones who will not touch their wives during their menstrual cycle. I'm like, okay, well, there's a word for men who will not touch their wives during a certain time of the day. They're called, during certain month, gay. Okay, you're gay. Go find a penis and suck on that. So,
Ted.
No, if you're not into, I mean, I'm sorry. If you're not, I mean, it's like, it's pussy. It's what's for dinner, get it every day.
Go get it.
Yeah, go get it. It's natural.
It's
like,
guy.
And if you're weirded out by the blood, you're gay. That's fine. Nothing wrong with being
a child.
Gay. You're just gay. Yeah,
or a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a gay child.
Because it's natural.
Like, yeah, that's again. That could be for a Rumble Premium.
Could be.
It could be a call-in premium. I don't know how we would do that, but again, we'll have Robbie figure that out because it's all new technology to this group of people. So we'll let Robbie figure out all the technical things and we'll sort it out and figure out how we can integrate the calls and you guys can ask weird things like that.
Yeah.
So with that, Robbie, do we need to get to an ad first before we get to the first story? Yeah, he says yes. Okay, so we got to go. Man, wouldn't that be interesting if we got like a colostrum ad or something? I'm serious because
speaking of which, I had a flashback to that's the story I told about witnessing the childbirth. Then we have to get to the ad. They saved the placenta in the freezer.
Okay.
Afterwards. Yeah.
Women do that.
Yeah.
Women do that. It's a thing.
It's a thing. Now, see, I thought that was a surprising thing.
You can get them
very strange looking.
You can dehydrate them like fruit and then get it like smushed down into placenta pills.
Right. True.
And then you take them as vitamins. Just saying. It's like we grew a whole new organ.
I'm not sure I really believe that it does much for you, but what do I know?
I don't know.
They threw me out of engineering school for less, so
All right, so let's get to the ad and then we'll get to the story. All right, our first sponsor today 1775 coffee. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash, all single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Who wants moldy coffee?
Yeah,
Plus, you're
moldy
also
coffee
getting
is not good.
no, you're also getting that gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, guys.
So true.
And a frother so strong, it's strong enough to stir up not only the coffee, but also your mother-in-law's opinions. And a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, all yours for just 99 bucks. This is the one. This is for the ones who have been watching 1775 blow up right here on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, producer Robbie is a fan.
That's true.
He stands by it. He says, go for it. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they are gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. All right, with that, we'll get to these fun, well, not quite fun Friday, but they're stories. All right, this one,
Friday.
it is a Friday, because Ted, you're not gonna hear this story from like certainly not like Fox or like One America or whatever, but you'll hear this here. So so there's a classified Pentagon report that came out this week. So I guess it's not that classified because people got wind of it.
Because we know about it, because we're talking about it right now. Yeah.
So anyway, it leaked, and it warns that China would crush the U.S. in a war over Taiwan. So here's the summary of it. So
that's actually super interesting.
A highly classified U.S. defense assessment, reportedly known inside the Pentagon as the overmatch brief. That's the name because the Pentagon always picks great titles. Delivers a sobering message.
At least it's not an acronym.
Yeah.
Overmatch brief. Acronym.
Yeah, this one's just called the overmatch brief. So basically saying the U.S. has been overmatched. It should be outmatched, really.
Yeah, outmatched. Overmatched is stupid.
Yeah, outmatched. Well, Ted, they're not wordsmiths. They're do bombs.
Smiths.
Yeah, they're not wordsmiths. Like, come on, you think Petey Hegseth? I mean, do you think he was really a journalist at Fox?
No.
He was they're one of their square-jawed, morning show hosts for the Weekend. Not even primetime guy.
Yeah, to put this in that perspective, Weekend is where they try you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to see if you can,
because no one's there.
Read.
Right.
Well, yeah, they just want to see that you can
retard?
actually read.
Yeah.
Like, can his eyes move with the teleprompter? That's where they put you.
Will he show up wearing pants?
It's true. It is very true in the TV industry. Like, it's a known thing. If they don't put you on Monday through Friday, it's because they're not sure of your abilities.
That's a fact.
That's the thing. So this is called overmatch versus what Ted and I say it should be called outmatched. But okay.
Just
and
because
this
we
is
have a basic knowledge of the English language, the language where we live. But anyway, yes.
But whatever. So this is all about Taiwan. And it basically says China's military could overwhelm and destroy key U.S. forces before they can even effectively intervene in Taiwan. So according to senior U.S. officials familiar with the assessment, simulated war games and strategic modeling show that China's rapidly modernizing arsenal may neutralize critical American military assets at the outset of a conflict. China has spent decades building up a vast array of long-range precision missiles, hypersonic weapons, advanced aircraft, and anti-ship systems, and the report warns those capabilities could blunt U.S. power projection in the Western Pacific. One of the most startling findings, China now fields an estimated 600 hypersonic missiles capable of flying at over 5 times the speed of sound and incredibly difficult to intercept. In multiple simulations, Chinese missiles both conventional and hypersonic, are able to strike U.S. aircraft carriers, fighter jets, and other high-value targets well before U.S. forces can establish air superiority or a staging presence near Taiwan. The Western Pacific's geography, with Taiwan less than 100 miles from mainland China, means Beijing could bring massive firepower to bear almost
Manila,
immediately.
these are two very important points.
That is key.
So the number one thing is, so Taiwan, like the Chinese, they live there. Okay, they're right there. So they don't have to. We, on the other hand, are on the other side of the biggest
Cuba.
ocean in the world. We would have to maintain supply lines over the course of what, 8 to 10,000 to 12,000 miles across the ocean. And yes, we have Hawaii and stuff like that. But the point is Guam. But
yeah,
we're supplying, probably, I would imagine we'd be supplying from South Korea, from our base there, right? And
probably our friends in Japan.
And the point is, but the Chinese are right there. And also the hypersonic missiles, we've seen the difference that they made in the conflict in Ukraine. The Russians had an incredible tactical advantage there. So
it's in a blink of an eye, like, in war terms.
Blink, think and you'll miss it. Yeah.
Yeah. The report describes how even the U.S. Navy's most expensive platforms are vulnerable. In those war games, the USS Gerald R. Ford, a $13 billion aircraft carrier and centerpiece of America's strike capability, because, Ted, when we think of like the most the strongest symbol of American might, we think of Jerry Ford. Why wouldn't we name the most expensive carrier and group after him? So every time they run this game, it says the Ford is frequently disabled or completely destroyed by Chinese strikes before it can even meaningfully contribute to combat. Similar projects show U.S. fighter squadrons, drones, and satellites degraded quickly as China's missile salvos and electronic warfare degrade communications and links. Part of the danger lies in the sheer quantity and saturation of China's forces. U.S. defenses are structured around costly precision weapons that are slow and expensive to produce. China's approach emphasizes large numbers of more affordable advanced systems, giving Beijing, quote, redundancy after redundancy against U.S. tactics, according to officials who previewed the assessment. The report also highlights vulnerabilities in U.S. industrial capacity. Key munitions might be expended in days rather than weeks, and America's supply chain remains dependent on foreign components, probably from China, Ted. Some experts warn the U.S. could burn through critical long-range missiles earlier than expected, leaving forces scrambling for replacements. The grim forecast has already driven policy adjustments. Washington is pushing allies like Japan and Australia to clarify how they would support a Taiwan contingency and has emphasized deterrence in its latest national security strategy. Still, the document underscores a stark reality. America's military edge is no longer guaranteed, and without changes in production, posture, and alliance cooperation, a major conflict with China could deliver operational setbacks far worse than any policymakers once assumed. The report doesn't say the U.S. would lose a war outright. Conflict would be devastating and uncertain, but it does warn that a high-intensity fight over Taiwan, China's forces could strike first, strike hard, and leave U.S. forces at a significant disadvantage from the opening salvos. So, Ted, I think that leads a lot into why we're seeing this purported aggression and potential war towards Venezuela. I don't think that's a coincidence, Ted, is they ran all these war games versus China, because we were cruising for a fight with China since the Biden days, right? With like Nancy Pelosi, going over there despite Joe Biden saying like, don't go there, Nancy. And she was like, talk to the hand. And she went over there anyway. We've been cruising for a fight since the Obama days when they said, we're pivoting to the Pacific. So now that all these war games have been conducted, like dozens of them, time and time again, it shows China, like from the early matchups, China kicks our ass primarily because, like you said, mainland China is 100 miles away. Like we just can't do that. Like defend Taiwan. It's not our place to go there, number one. But logistically speaking, it's unwinnable. So what do we go and do? We're picking a fight with Venezuela, whose military is like, I don't know. I don't even know what to call their military. I'm not trying to make fun of them, but I mean, relative to ours, that we only pick fights with countries that can't really fight back.
True.
It's the kind of bullies that we are. So, Robbie, what did you say, Robbie? It says the question. Oh, the question is, would the U.S. use a nuke if the Chinese kill 20,000 or more U.S. sailors?
Yeah, that's the question. Because the United States is, in a lot of ways, we're like Israel. We are casualty adverse. So if we send a fleet over there, and the Chinese, they use their hypersonic missiles, and they sink the Gerald Ford, they sink a bunch of escorts and blow up a troop transport, and you wake up one day and there's 20 or 30,000 dead U.S. sailors, you can imagine what the reaction here in the mainland would be. Would the United States then at that point say, okay, you bloodied us, we're going to nuke Shanghai? I think the answer could be yes.
The answer could be yes. That's true.
Yeah.
Now, it would be insane. I mean,
have you met our government?
Let's not forget that the U.S. has no legal basis whatsoever for supporting Taiwan. The U.S. does not recognize Taiwan as a sovereign state. It recognizes Taiwan as part of China. That's the one China policy. That's been in place since
ambiguity.
The 1970s. We have no treaty obligations to Taiwan. We've sold them weaponry, but that's about it. It's kind of like, hey, we like you, but we're not married, right? We're fuck buddies.
The Taiwanese Constitution says that it is one nation and that they are the legitimate government of China. Neither the Taiwanese Constitution says they're independent.
Yeah, they're the minnow who wants to eat the whale.
Let me ask you guys this, though. So, like, if the shoe were on the other foot, if China came to Guam or Puerto Rico, right? These are not states, they're U.S. territories. If China came to the nation of Guam and said, hey, we have technology.
Guam is just like you said.
Right.
The territory of Guam.
Well, we're saying Taiwan is a nation, right? So in this instance, China's like,
we're
hey,
not
Guam.
saying that Taiwan is a nation.
Well, in some instances,
Taiwan, as far as the United States government is concerned, the status of Taiwan is the same for China as the status of Montana is for the United States.
Or the Confederacy is a province.
Hear me out. Right. Whatever you want to call Guam, I misspoke. Sorry. But my point is, what if China came to Guam and was like, we have technology to help your island from not tipping over, and then we'll sell you some guns, and we'll sell you some missiles, because you're not really a state of the United States.
Right.
How would the U.S. feel about it?
It would be an act of war.
Yeah.
So that's...
And the Chinese have been very, very cool about it since 1949. Really, truly, they have been. I mean, we created, the U.S. Navy transported the nationalist army of defeated nationalist army of Chiang Kai-shek and his government, and billions of dollars of looted gold and artwork from mainland China over to the island of Taiwan. And then immediately upon arrival, the nationalist troops murdered and slaughtered all of the intellectuals, liberals, and political independence people who had been running the sovereign Republic of Taiwan since 1945. And we installed them, and then Chiang Kai-shek created a bloody authoritarian dictatorship that ruled until the early 80s. So that's the history there. But anyway, we have no basis whatsoever for this. The fact is, come on, why would we think the Chinese wouldn't beat us? The Vietnamese beat us. The Afghans beat us. The Iraqis beat us. everybody beats us. We always lose. The last time we won a war was the Gulf War. I mean, come on, be serious here.
That's true.
Also, people need to realize Taiwan is to China what Ukraine is to Russia. When the Japanese went in, when they invaded China, they went in through what was then called Formosa, which is now called Taiwan. The Chinese remember this.
Well, they already owned it.
Yeah, of course they did. But
because they had been occupying it since the 1890s. Since
the first
Sino-Japanese War.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they took it,
before that,
and
the
then
Dutch
they invaded.
had it anyway. The
Yeah,
Dutch,
so
a lot of people ran through there.
so it's just an absolute mess. But to your point, and I'll go way back to producer land, Nicky Forrest Focus, he famously said, "You never use a ship to attack a castle," and that's what the United States would be doing in a war over Taiwan against China. That's why you would lose.
And remember, we were talking like in the early days of the Ukraine SMO that in the Biden era, that people were like, well, can the U.S. really even handle a two-front war, one with Russia and one in Taiwan? Like, are you joking? Are you like,
Apparently
are you
we can handle
futz?
we can't handle a one-front war.
Like, are you nucking futz? You think we're gonna go like toe-to-toe with Russia over here and then toe-to-toe with China in Taiwan? Like, are you out of your ever-loving mind?
There's one thing, and Ted, you can probably verify this for me. I don't know if you've been to Taiwan or not. I assume you have.
I have.
The one defensive advantage that the Taiwanese have is that Taiwan only has one real beach. Like the island is cliffs with one beach. So if you're going to invade, you can only go in at one place. And so talk about a butcher's bill. The Chinese could take it, but they would be stacking bodies like the Americans did in Korea. Like my dad, when he was in the Korean War, he talked about how they would stack bodies like 6 feet high of Chinese. They couldn't kill them fast enough. That's what would happen in Taiwan.
Yeah, that
until your supplies run out.
Well, not to mention, I mean, the Chinese know. I mean, their intel on Taiwan is, apex. I mean, they come and go as they please. They're
Chinese.
And China and Taiwan have very close. You might think that they're at war. They're not. There's no Cold War there. They have huge trade relations. I mean, they do a lot of cross-state trade. I mean, when you go there, you're like, wait, you people don't like each other because you're all marrying each other, fucking each other, doing business together constantly.
Right. So it's just the local government then, right? And the
about,
U.S.
Look, the Taiwanese.
So why do they keep electing those people that are going to have all this bluster and chest beat and?
It's military industrial complex bullshit in Taiwan. Basically, we sell them second generation leftover armaments that, like, basically we sell the good shit to the Israelis and the Saudis, and then like when that stuff is a little old, like it's like selling your iPhone 12 or whatever. Like
day old bread to the Taiwanese.
Yeah, we sell. Yeah, exactly. Yesterday's bagels. They're going to the Taiwanese, and the Taiwanese bitch about it. They're like we get all the crap, and we know the Chinese will kick our ass if we. But the Americans are kind of like, you got to keep buying it, and there's grift, right? It's the same. Like the Taiwanese politicians are all both in the DPP to a lesser extent, but also the KMT. They're all owned by the defense business, just like here. So it's the same exact shtick. It's theater. China's not invading Taiwan. They don't have to. They're buying it.
Well, they'll reunify naturally.
Will just be like, they'll slork it back in.
It'll happen
like
over
Hong
time
Kong.
anyway.
Right.
It'll happen. It's going to happen naturally anyway. Why start war?
That's the
same
Chinese
people.
approach. The Chinese don't. Yeah. The Chinese are not militarily aggressive. I mean, think about all the military conflicts that communist China has had since 1949. They had a little sort of a border skirmish with Pakistan over Kashmir in 1960, I think it was. And then they had in 1980.
And they still do. Occasionally they throw sticks and stones.
They had a border skirmish with northern Vietnam, right, in like late 70s, early 80s.
Which they lost.
Which they lost. And that's it. But they didn't really care. Yeah. It was kind of like, let's see if this works. It didn't work. Whatevs. They were really just trying to bloody the nose of the Vietnamese. Like, fuck off. That's all. They didn't want to win. They just wanted to like stop swatting a dog over its snout with a newspaper.
It's not their thing. safe to say. So
no, it's not. I mean, we have this view like they're coming. No, they're not. There's no evidence to support that at all.
But also
the
historically,
funny thing is we're paying for these tests, these war games, and every time we lose. So
well, also, I mean, one thing is people got to remember. I mean, different groups of people tend to have different amounts of aggression and belligerency and that kind of thing. Sure. The Chinese have historically always been more interested in making money. Like they're not natural born explorers. They don't go out like they didn't pull a Columbus. Okay, let's go see what's on the other side of the horizon. They don't care.
That's right.
Also, typically when it comes to war, the Chinese historically have not really been very good at it. And they know that. They're better at business than they are at conquest. So I will go away now.
Okay.
All right. Let me hit the jaws and we'll move on to the next topic.
All right. Congress is locked in a bitter standoff over the Affordable Care Act premium tax credits, the subsidies that keep health insurance affordable for millions of Americans, actually tens of millions of Americans, with the enhanced subsidies due to expire at the end of this month, just in a couple of weeks. Lawmakers face a major price shock unless a deal is struck. The enhanced ACA tax credits went up during COVID to try to cap marketplace premiums based on income, allowing a lot of middle-class people to get coverage. Around 24 million people currently get the subsidies. If nothing happens, average premiums will double, more than double next year. The average increase will be 114%. Many will be 3, 4, 5 times higher than today. Democrats, led by Chuck Schumer, pushed a bill to extend the subsidies for 3 more years. It's a very straightforward law that would have passed. Continue the support to prevent a hike in insurance costs and protect coverage. This would cost tens of billions of dollars. It got a little bit of support from a few moderate Republicans, but fell short of 60 that you need in the Senate. Democrats say that eliminating the subsidies would unleash premium hikes that would force millions of people out of the ACA marketplace, cause the whole SIP system to collapse maybe, and certainly make coverage unaffordable. The Republicans, on the other hand, don't even want to extend the subsidies at all. Instead, they wanted to send health funding into health savings accounts, those already exist already, and target one-time direct payments up to $1,500 to individuals below the roughly 700% of the federal poverty level. The idea is to give money straight to patients rather than subsidizing insurance premiums. I wonder, Manila, do Republicans know how much healthcare actually costs? Because
here's $1,500.
$1,500 is basically 1 month's premium or one trip in the ambulance without treatment to the hospital. Okay. Anyway, so I guess you'd get your ride to the hospital and then you take the bus home. Anyway, Republicans argue that the existing structure of the tax credits encourages waste and fraud and doesn't address rising costs. Lame. The GOP criticized the Democrats for being too expensive and maintaining the status quo without reforms. Like the Democratic plan, the Republican proposal also went down to failure. So we're now at a legislative impasse, weeks to act. If nothing happens, the enhanced subsidies go away on January 1st. Everyone ends up paying a lot more insurance. The ACA has their economies of scale go down because there would be tens of millions of people who would drop out of the program entirely. Emergency rooms will be completely jammed with uncovered, uninsured people. Hospitals will be broke. Doctors will have to figure out whether they want to treat people who can't afford to pay them. It'll be a fucking hot, steaming mess. Lawmakers are trying to figure out what to do. Moderates are looking at bipartisan bills to extend the subsidies just through 2027. But let's just say we don't really know how this is going to go down. Manila, I am extremely not optimistic. How about you?
No, I don't. I mean, no one's going to hit the 60 vote mark, but let's be honest, like all the plans that they're bringing to the table suck ass. Obamacare, I guess it's better than nothing to begin with, but it never
That's basically all it has to recommend it. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, that's the only argument that they.
But the problem is the Republicans are offering nothing.
Right. So, I mean, bless you. So
shitty plan beats nothing. I don't
yeah, like
understand why
I don't.
Republicans
How do you
can't
go
get it
back?
together here.
Why can't anybody like go back to the drawing board and be like, well, let's address why it's so expensive to begin with, even under Obamacare, and plug the holes of the waste and the fraud. Like, why throw the baby out with the bathwater?
Yeah, because the waste and the fraud isn't the issue. The issue, this is not like in the late 1970s and early 80s where there were Medicare mills that were oversubscribing meds and selling them on the black market, and all those 60 minutes, exposés with the hidden cameras in strip malls in Florida and all that. That's over. Those problems were resolved back in the 80s and 90s with HMOs and all that. So the real problems now is simply the fact, as Luigi said, this is a for-profit industry, and it shouldn't be a for-profit industry. That's problem number one. Problem number two is the health insurance business. I mean, literally, the only way health insurers can make a profit is by increasing the cost of healthcare. By definition, how can they make a profit otherwise? They can't, right? They're like the mob. They're taking a spread over and above. They're a protection. It's literally a protection racket. Nice health you got there. Be a damn shame if something happened to it. Pay us, and if you get hit by a bus, we might take care of you. But that's stupid. Health insurance doesn't add any value to the proposition. The American people don't benefit from the Hartford-based insurance companies at all. We could do without them entirely. There's no other sector that of services. It's not like, oh, there's an insurance company for like when you want to go see a movie. Oh, but you don't pay just for your movie ticket. You also pay for the movie insurance. No, you just go. It's sort of like how when you rent a car and the car rental insurance is a ripoff. Don't take the insurance. It's actually cheaper not to. It's just like that. We need to. So the problem is that as long as both the Democratic and Republican parties are owned lock, stock, and barrel by these insurance companies, we're going to have this problem. We got to get rid of them. They should be closed.
Yeah. Well-dressed nerd says because they aren't really trying to fix it or anything. That's I guess the whole point of the racket. Because all I can think of, Ted, is like when I got really sick in Rome, the Italians took care of me for a couple of days, and I'm an American. I'm not Italian. I walked out of there with no bill, and no bill followed me back home to California. Like, I get it. Like, the Italians have a much, much smaller population than the United States, and I get that. But we are also an outsized economy relative to the
China has
Italians.
A much bigger population, and they do it my way.
Do they have
national health care?
Really? They do?
Of course. All modern countries do, except for the U.S.
I think the French, I know the French have a similar thing to
do.
Even better than the Italians, which is impressive. Because
the French are you kidding? The French are so much better organized than the Italians on all.
I know. Things. I've not been in a French hospital, thankfully, knock on wood. But I was actually pretty impressed by the system that the Italians had. Once I was
very impressed with Mexico. I got an eye inflammation thing while surfing. And I went to, it was during a national holiday weekend. So double jeopardy, right? Like the equivalent of 4th of July. I'm like, oh, shit. And they're like, oh, you must go to the free clinic. And to the clinic. I'm like, oh, I'm in rural Mexico.
Oh, right? Senor, you have to go to the clinic over there.
Chetumal, outside of Chetumal. So anyway, I go to the thing. It's like, first of all, there's no wait. I walk into the lobby. There's no one in the waiting room. I wasn't sure they were open. There's just one lady at the front desk, and she's like, "What's his problem?" I'm like, "It's my eye," and she's like, "Come with me." And we go down this hall, and I know, Spanish is not so different that you don't know what things say on signs, and I speak French, and they're on every door. there's like a medical specialist name, right? Like oncology, EMT, ear, nose, throat, so
What?
on. And inside that room is a doctor sitting at a desk waiting for you to come in. So literally, when you go to the ER, they
What?
don't have specialists, right? There's no
No,
specialists.
no.
But literally,
There's
like
just a trauma doctor there to make sure your arm
there was a
doesn't fall off.
dermatologist. There was like a gynecologist everywhere. It's a dum bum bum bum, like down this long
Really?
hall, and they bring in ophthalmologist. I go in there. There's a really like extremely cute, hot Mexican lady, and she's like, I was like, whoa. And I was like, if I was blind, but now I see. Anyway, she took care of me, and then she was like, I have to apologize because you're not a Mexican citizen. We have to charge you, and so it was $8.
Oh.
And then she's like,
Oh.
there was a medication, and she's like, I have to apologize. I can't just give it to you. You have to buy it from downstairs, from the pharmacy. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm going to have to go find a pharmacy. The pharmacy was in the lobby.
Right. Which makes sense.
And it was, I think I had to pay $3 for my medication.
Wow.
That's the Mexican system in rural Mexico.
Yeah. Mexico's a great example. They're right next door. When I lived in California, Ted, I was always able to drive 2 hours south, go to La Farmacia, buy the basic stuff that I like to keep on hand, right? Like various antibiotics. They're different levels. You and I
do the same thing. About this. Although now you and I have our different hookup.
We do. But back then I was my own hookup. I would just drive, once a year, drive down into Tijuana. Like if you need, you want to see an eye doctor, basics, you pay $10 to go see, whatever. And like everything's, but I never really thought about it in this extent. Was like, how do you guys subsidize all of this? Like, you don't have a small population. How do you guys subsidize all of this? You're bigger than Italy. I think there's more Mexicans than there are French. I think that's right. I think the population of Mexico is double the French or something like that.
Mexico's a big country.
It's a big country. So I never really thought about how they subsidize. Maybe it's drug lord subsidies, Ted. I don't know. I don't know. Different kind of drugs, different kind of pharmacy.
So you're right. Manila, you're exactly right. Mexico has twice the population of France. It has 137 million people. France is about 68 million.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, because, and like you said, they're Romance languages and people kind of understand each other. Because I've seen French and Mexicans speaking to each other. And I'm like, you guys kind of understand each other. But yeah, like, I'm not saying you should go down to Mexico for your plastic surgery needs because there are people posing as doctors. But when you're going for like regular health things, like, I would like a Z pack, I would like this, whatever, and I would like this, dermatology skin thing to have on hand if I get a skin infection from whatever. I think that's one way you can actually drive down costs, Ted.
Sure.
It's giving us fucking access to the most basic medicines that I know the argument is, all of us are going to start taking Z packs. We're all going to be on antibiotics. And then all these bugs are going to break out because we're too stupid. We're just going to pop them like Skittles, right? Or like breath mints.
Well, the drugs are a minor issue. What we really need is more prevention. I mean, like people should, in America, we don't go see the doctor unless we're sick because it's expensive.
Until it's too late.
And in other countries, they're really they keep medical costs manageable by encouraging people to come in far more often for regular physical exams, and they'll give you an X-ray just because, and they have early detection of cancer because of that. It's like here, it's like suddenly you don't realize you have brain cancer until half your face collapses when you're sitting at your desk one morning. Which
that's right.
To my lawyer. Our system is so fucking bad. So fucking stupid. It is a fucking embarrassment.
Look, I mean, this highlights, Ted, while this is happening and like on Capitol Hill, Luigi Mangione is in court right? With like all,
He should be president of the United States. He shouldn't be in court.
This highlights exactly why he did what he did. I'm not saying obviously I cannot justify taking somebody else's life, but it really underscores and echoes, I think, the sentiment of how Americans feel. Is like, why can other countries that are not shithole countries, why can they have better health, number one, to begin with, like from the food supply system, the whole chain of our food, right? Number one, that's part of prevention. Then the real, physical go into a doctor to make sure you stay healthy to begin with. That's the prevention. And then of course the pound of cure that you have to, endure. From start to finish, our whole, like, the way Americans look at health has gone to shit. The salaries of all of these, meanwhile, no matter what happens, Ted, meanwhile, all of those, unfortunately, Brian Thompsons of the world out there are like sitting on their pile of money because no matter what happens, their salaries keep going up into, 8 digits. Like, it's not right. It is not right. And nobody's proposing a better functional fix. And Ted and I are proponents of the Mexican system.
Hey, Manila, we have an ad. I'm going to read it.
Okay.
What do you give someone who already has everything? You give them the sound of a perfect sear. Head to mychicagosteak.com/rumble. Code RUMBLE. Chicago Steak Company. Top 2% of beef in America. USDA Prime and Premium Angus. Hand cut by master butchers. I'm getting hungry. The kind of marbling that hits a hot pan and fills the whole house with that smell, that buttery meat goodness. You know the one. Spend $229 on any holiday order, and your gift arrives at your loved one's doors with 6 free petite ribeyes plus free shipping. That's $240 in premium steak, absolutely free. Then there's the unboxing, a black and gold gift box worth unwrapping, packed with dry ice, smoke rolling out when they crack it open, Christmas morning energy. It's not just another sweater, it's dinner that becomes a memory. mychicagosteak.com/rumble, code RUMBLE, RUMBLE.
Well, that right on the heels of, like I said, our food supply, our food chain. Like, there you go. Start with healthy eating, because you're going to be screwed. We're going to go back, Ted. I thought Obamacare law, the Obamacare law made it law, like against the law, to be without health insurance.
It did. But then Donald Trump in his first term got rid of that. Remember how, like, for a while you had to file a form with your taxes, like form 10098 or something like that.
I remember.
And you had to show that every month you had insurance. And Trump got rid of that. So you don't have to prove you have health insurance.
So it's not
anymore.
illegal anymore to not have health insurance.
Correct. That is correct.
Oh, so we'll just go back to 1996.
Yeah, basically that's it.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
I thought there was a form. I was like, did I misremember? Did we used to have a healthcare form? I don't know, doing the taxes, and then I just send everything off to our tax guy, right? So I totally didn't. It didn't occur to me that that went away. All right, we'll get to the next story. All right. Speaking of health, Ted, I like this one. A massive new study of 74,000 adults just reframed how we think about training for longevity, and the numbers are staggering. Researchers found that a single minute, 1 minute of vigorous exercise delivers the same physiological benefits as 4 to 9 minutes of moderate movement. Even more astounding, 1 minute of high-intensity movement delivers the same benefit as up to 156 minutes of light activity. 156 minutes is an hour and what, Ted? Hour and a half? No,
yes, that's that's correct.
Roughly.
It's 156 minutes. Sorry, it's 2 hours and 36 minutes.
2 hours and a half. Okay, 2.5 hours. Okay, so Ted, that's 1 minute of super hard, high intensity, whatever you're doing, delivers the same as 2.5 hours of light activity. So like, I don't know, like house cleaning, I guess we can we can call, dusting and vacuuming light activity. 1 minute of like hardcore intensive exercise equates to basically cleaning your whole house in 2.5 hours. This discovery overturns decades of guidelines and reinforces something longevity scientists have been hinting at. Intensity is exponential. Short, sharp efforts create disproportionate movements in VO2 maxing, the mitochondrial energy, metabolic flexibility, and all-cause mortality risk. As athlete scientist Dr. Stacy Sims puts it, quote, high-intensity exercise isn't just for performance, it's a massive driver of long-term health. For anyone already training, this is a refinement moment. For anyone getting started, it's a roadmap. This means the old playbook underestimated the power of intensity by a factor of 2 to 10. Vigorous activity was the strongest predictor of lower all-cause mortality, even after controlling for total movement volume, age, sex, BMI, and diseases. It wasn't just about moving more, it was about how hard you move. This reinforces a growing truth across longevity science. VO2 max and power output are among the most important biomarkers of aging, and both respond most efficiently to intensity. Vigorous exercise produces outsized benefits because it stimulates greater mitochondrial biogenesis, which is in plain language, more energy producing capacity, higher mechanical tension and muscle fiber recruitment, improved cardiac output and vascular elasticity, metabolic flexibility, which is your ability to flip between fuel sources, hormetic stress, that means challenges that trigger the body's repair and resilience systems that bring it back stronger, and it up regulates cellular repair and resilience pathways linked to healthy aging. Moderate movement is wonderful, it says. Light movement is foundational, but vigorous movement is what lifts the ceiling. So, Ted, 1 minute of what's considered high intensity 1 minute, like hitting the punching bag for like a solid minute, like Mike Tyson, like brrr, like real hard.
I mean,
Like what?
I would imagine. I mean, maybe high intensity jumping jacks, or maybe maybe a fast sprint, or like a crazy minute of swimming, like as fast as
like
and
yeah, like
strong as you,
something where you're
more
just
powerful
going,
you just
something you're
basically
going hard at,
you're going full out, right?
right? In
Basically,
that 1 minute.
you're doing everything you can. Yeah. So
So Ted, that
that makes sense though.
changes things.
Well, it
For
makes
a
a
lot of
lot of
people.
sense though. I mean, I always wondered for years and years, like, how did human beings catch animals like gazelles, right? Like, and kill them in Africa? Because I mean, a gazelle can outrun a human being, right? No question, easily, without like missing a beat. And I saw a documentary about, I think they might have been Maasai, but they were some kind of traditional African tribe in Africa, and where you saw them hunt. And the way it worked, and I always assumed that humans trapped them, like they drove them
I
over
thought
a
that
cliff,
too.
or they dug a hole and they covered it with
Yeah.
leaves, and they do that. But this is not how they did it. So it was fascinating. So the hunters walk up and they see this gazelle, and the gazelle is like,
Okay.
takes off.
Bye.
And so, bye, see ya, fuckers. So they just walk along and they track it, right? Like based on its where the leaves are broken and it's dropping,
footsteps and whatever,
and it's poo and stuff, right? And they follow it, and then they find it again, and he's like, "You again?" And he's like, "Bye," takes off again. Rinse, lather, repeat. They keep doing this. Human beings can pretty much just walk like forever. And in this thing, they showed it goes on for 3 days. And finally, by the end, this animal, which can go so fast, it expends a lot of energy in that burst of power. It's out. It's done. And literally by the end, it literally falls over from exhaustion. And the guy just walks over with a spear and stabs it. The end.
What?
Yeah. No, I swear. And
so they just wore it down.
They wore it down. Yeah, that's exactly it. So they're like lawyers, basically. So, so I mean, it was like, so it was really impressive to me, and so it really illustrates how. I mean, look, a gazelle and a human are both mammals, right? But basically, you basically can expend energy over a distance slowly, or you can expend it in a short time quickly. But in the end, it's the same amount of energy. And that's kind of like the point here, I think, with this exercise thing. If you go full out, like basically you can stay, and these Maasai guys, they're like the full out thing is the gazelle. They're slow and steady as she goes. Just they amble after it. They're not running after it. They know they can't catch it. There's no point. Right? So they don't try. They just wear it down. And I think so this is the opposite of that. I think this is basically like you are the gazelle here.
Right. You need to expend. So for all the people that say, and Ted and I were thinking about one of our Rumble premiums talking about all these we're going to look at polls of all of these New Year's resolutions that people like to make. And always, Ted, it's always at the top of the list. I want to lose weight. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to exercise, like something along those lines. Right. And then look no further than 90 days into the new year, and all of those, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to get in shape this year. All those people within 90 days it's all just downhill from there.
Of course, because they can't maintain it because it sucks.
Right, because they think they're like, oh, I'm going to go 90 minutes every day. But here's the thing, Ted, it's just like your 8-hour workday where everyone at the office is like, I get to the office. Hey, Bob. Hey, Susan. You start chit chat. You waste all this bullshit time, right? And then you go poop because you have the coffee and with Bob and Susan, and now it's bathroomed. So really, you waste hours. As it turns out, according to this study, 74,000 participants is a lot. That's a good number.
That's a big study.
I think that's a big enough study for me to feel like I have no more excuses.
That's exactly it. Psychologically,
1 minute.
I used to run.
So I can go running down the block, like just
I don't
full
run.
Out
I don't run anymore because it's bad for your knees, especially on a hard surface. It's really not good.
Really bad knees.
But that said, I'm a biker now. But like when people would ask me, like, oh, so how do you, I want to start running.
How do you maintain? Like, how do you?
And I would say, like, so my ex-wife, she was like totally like, if you don't run at least 5 miles, you're a total loser. Of course, she had borderline personality disorder, so of course she felt that way. But let me just say, like, so I would tell people exactly the opposite. When I started and I was like feeling, out of shape, I was like, go to the park, run 1/10 of a mile. And you're like, everyone, no matter how out of shape they are, is going to say, like, I can do that. And I mean, Chris Christie can do that, right? So the point is,
really,
it's two New York City blocks. Anyone can run 2 city blocks, like you're chasing the bus or something, right? Like anyone can run 2 blocks. Like that's it. There's the bus. I'm going to get that bus. It's a quick sprint. That's it. And then don't do anything else. Go home. Well, the thing is, if you just keep doing that, first of all, you feel like you'd be ashamed to think I can't run 2 blocks. Everybody can run 1/10 of a mile. So you start with that. You just keep doing that. If you keep running 1/10 every day, you go run 1/10 of a mile. I guarantee you will master that 1/10 of a mile in no time. Within a week or 2 or 3, you're going to be like, okay, that was really easy. And you're like, maybe I'll run 2/10 of a mile. And that's how you get started.
Like,
start low. This is like the 1 minute thing. Like you said,
this is the one. This is great news.
You literally are like, you'd feel guilty. You'd be like, what kind of wanker am I that I can't fucking go full out for 60 fucking seconds? If I can't do that, I'm a loser. I should just kill myself now. Right?
Rumble Room, like well-dressed nerd says, do burpees. Yeah, do 60 seconds of burpees, move on with your life. And then maybe somewhere later in the day, like
or don't just do
just
that.
run.
Just
Just
do that.
do burpees then. Do burpees for
Just do your 60
whatever.
seconds. Yeah.
Just do 60 seconds. And as you build up, you can do a minute here, a minute there, because as this
do it
as
until
this
the
study,
do the minute until the minute bores you. Then do 2 minutes.
right, then push further, because as this says, it says the one high intensity minute is the same benefit. This is a high range between it becomes 4 to 9 minutes of moderate exercise. So if you're on like a stationary bike and you're just moderately biking for, let's say, 9 minutes, if you push hard for a full minute, it's going to be the same thing. It's this the outcome is the same. What the benefits your body receives is the same according to this report. So I might do that. I have a stationary bike because, like you, Ted, I have bad knees. But I keep telling myself I don't have the time. Like I can't sit there for 40 minutes. My ass hurts, and I've told you this. Like the bikes,
Yeah, you
my
gotta
ass hurts. I don't.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
don't want
get a new seat. Yeah.
But that means I can. But for 1 minute, Ted, I can do that. I can
You could
push
go
hard.
you could go all out on the stationary bike.
But for like 1 minute, yeah.
Although you can't just, you gotta
pedal.
warm up. You gotta seriously like warm up a little bit.
Oh, well.
My
but
answer for the
rate,
stationary bike is put a TV in front of it, right? So like
just go hard. Go hard for 1 minute.
The Simpsons is my favorite for like for exercise. Just put the Simpsons on.
I just like listening to like a podcast, and I can, but like my butt starts aching, and that's why I don't
listen to the TMI show. The TMI show
now
is an hour and a half workout every day. So by the end
now
of that, you
see
should be able to
1
be in
minute.
the Olympics.
Oh no. My ass I would never be an Olympic bicyclist because my ass would hurt. But I could do 1 minute, go hard. That I can commit to. That I can do that. Go hard for a minute. Yes. So that's for everybody. So there you go. Because Ted and I, believe it or not, want you guys, even the haters watching, we actually want you to be healthy. And it'll also drive down healthcare costs for all of us.
I am, as you can plainly tell, I am no jock, but
I'm in decent shape. I'm in pretty good shape, but I was in great shape before I became a mom. I was like all of my numbers, like my LDLs, HDLs, all of that stuff. I was like very close. I don't know why I had this goal of getting my numbers to like athlete level numbers, like BMI, and it was just one of those things. I'm from California. I always wanted to be collarbone chic, Ted. Like I was like, oh, you're never thin enough until you could see your collarbone. Like that was my like this. You're not thin, you're not beautiful if you don't have collarbone chic. It's a California thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. Collarbone chic. It is a thing from LA.
And so I'm 62 years old, and I've never ever overheard, or talked to, or known about any man who's ever been like, check out the collarbones on that girl.
But women we don't care what you guys think. We care what the other woman thinks.
So you're lesbians.
So kind of, yeah, we care about what the other chicks think.
You're definitely shoe and handbag lesbians for sure.
Oh, for sure. So I'm not personally, I don't really care about that stuff.
Oh, by the way, makeup is like that too. I've never once known any man who's like,
girls
I really like her makeup. It looks great.
Oh, her makeup looks good today.
I mean, most guys prefer
I know.
no makeup, right? I mean,
I know.
It's messy.
This is very specific to California, to Angelinas, I should say, to the female Angelinos, and maybe even more so specific to the yogi and Pilates community with our green juices and so like everybody
with your collarbone thing,
the collarbone thing and the pelvic bone thing, because you're wearing your yoga pants, right? And you're wearing, right? So everything's kind of snug. So we see each other and we envy one another's like collarbone chic, or like if her pelvic bone is sticking out, like you're kind of like, oh, Roxanne's pelvic bones are like
So the thing is,
jutting out
pelvic
more than
bones,
mine.
actually, no one ever talks about this. I've never heard anyone talk about what I'm about to say. Pelvic bones could be appealing because it makes sex better. Yeah, because if there's well-defined collar bones, there's like a whole frottage, grindy thing that happens.
No, pelvic, not collar. You said collar.
No, pelvic. Pelvic.
Yeah,
I
but a
meant
moment
pelvic.
ago, just right now, you
Sorry.
said
Well,
if
sorry.
there's
I meant pelvic. Sorry.
okay. So yeah, well, I don't know, but as a straight woman, we
Collarbone, no.
look at each other's
And then if you see ribs,
yoga
that's
babes.
really unappealing. That's disgusting.
If you see what?
If you can see like a girl's like upper ribs here.
Oh no, that's too much.
It's like, ooh, bulimia.
No, that's where in the yoga community it's too much and we think you're anorexic. There's this fine
correctly.
balance where, like I said, you're collarbone chic and pelvic bone chic. And when a man and there are, because it's about core strength, right? Like in yoga and Pilates, if you see a man that has the oblique muscles with the V shape, do you know what I'm talking about? Like right above the pelvic
It's not
bone.
something I see in the mirror, but yes, I do know what you mean. I know what they are.
But in that yogi community, I do know women that would look at so and so and be like, oh, did you see his obliques? Like, ooh, showing in class, and that's something that was thought of as really, really sexy in that community.
Yeah. Yoga people are strange as hell. I once had
Yeah,
the
I'm not
misfortune of being
hardcore,
invited
but
to a party full of yogis who taught classes and stuff. And oh my
I
God, the
know.
food. Everyone was like, oh, it is, this quinoa is so good. And it was like,
I ate those
thank
things.
God I had a flask to get through the evening.
I wasn't hardcore like that, but it was definitely part of my lifestyle. I lived it, but I wasn't one of these like dorks that was like living and breathing it. You know, it was just something I enjoyed doing and I felt good doing it.
Sure.
And I looked good doing it. And I had the metabolic numbers to prove that it was really good for my body. Cause I tried different types of exercise, like the gym thing, the CrossFit thing, that was a thing, right? A whole thing. Steps. I tried step aerobics. I tried all of that stuff.
Oh, what's the other one? Spin class.
No, I don't like spin because, like I said, my butt cheeks always hurt.
I don't like spin because A, the music's always shitty, and B, I don't like the feeling that your legs are strapped in to
I don't like
to a heavy disc that has momentum.
Yeah.
So like you get this sense that like you could injure yourself, right? If you had
it could pull your legs off. Like you feel like I don't like that feeling.
Terrifying.
I don't like feeling trapped. So that's not for me. Zumba, remember that? Like the Zumba craze.
Yeah.
Like, and then Latin
Zumba. Remember there was a Zumba prostitution ring in like New England?
No.
There was a chain of Zumba places in New England that was a front for prostitution. So yeah, whenever my ex-wife would be like, I'm off to Zumba, I'd be like,
oh, I gotcha.
Zumba.
Yeah. No, I did not hear. Well, I tried those things and those were not for me. I went to like women's lifting class at Gold's Gym, right? Like lifting I liked that. Like,
well, that's
I wasn't
good. That is good for you. And that's
increasingly
I like the current thinking, although it changes all the time, right? Is that that's really important, especially for older people.
Yeah, it is. But what I found really worked for my body, and I was basing this on the scientific numbers in my blood panels, was I found like the benefits of yoga and Pilates to be the best. But the problem is that worked when I was single, Manila. When you're married, when you're a wife and mother, Manila, you don't have 4 days a week and 90 minutes each time and then add the commutes and add the, like you don't have that. You don't. So I do whatever I can at home in between soccer practice and homework and whatever, right? And like BJJ class for everything's around the kid. I don't get those. But now I feel like, wow, with 1 minute, like, okay, like I think I can manage that. I can high intensity something. I want to get back to those numbers. So
Well,
there you are.
We should move on.
Yeah, last quick story. I picked this one for you, Ted, because you are a travel-aholic, and this one I'm going to put on the screen.
Cool.
So read slow. I'm going to hit the jaws.
I will read very slow.
Not in slow-mo, but
sorry.
But read slow. I'm gonna.
El Marco.
You're gonna want to look at this too.
El Marco, which is not the name of a pen, or Little Marco Rubio. El Marco, a small rustic bridge that connects the Spanish village of, El Marco, to the Portuguese village of Várzea Grande, is the world's smallest international bridge, crossing the 19-foot long and 4.7-foot wide El Marco wooden bridge. You'd think you were just crossing a small stream in a rural area of Western Europe, but you would be mistaken. By taking these few steps over El Marco, you are not only crossing from one country into another, but you're also changing time zones, since Spain operates on Central European time and Portugal follows Greenwich Mean Time. You can think of it as the easiest way of time traveling. Once an improved, a simple improvised pier that allowed trade between smugglers between Spain and Portugal, the current form of El Marco dates to 2008, when it was built using community funds. The Schengen Accord made crossing between the two EU countries, like between any two EU countries, free and easy, so smuggling never stopped happening. Because of its small size, El Marco only allows pedestrian traffic and two-wheel bikes, like vehicles like bicycles, scooters, and motorcycles. No word on unicycles. Apart from the locals who use it to travel between El Marco and Várzea Grande, the world's smallest international bridge is, as you'd imagine, also a popular tourist attraction. By the way, I love international border crossings, and borders are fascinating to me always.
But look at this.
That is so cute. There's that
this
library.
Is cute to you?
There's that library. Is it in Vermont? I think it is, that basically on the border with Canada, and like half the library is in Canada and half the library is in the United States.
Really?
It could be Minnesota, it could be Vermont, could be New Hampshire, could be Maine. I don't know. It's one of those. Anyway, and it became the subject of controversy recently because of Trump's border policies, where they literally were trying to deport, catch illegal immigrants who were walking from one side of the library to the other.
No.
And the library, I think, had to close, or was in danger of closing.
Oh my God.
The King David Bridge between Jordan and the Israeli occupied West Bank is also a very small, unassuming bridge, because it's a very
like this.
It's a very important border crossing. No, it's not like that. First of all, it's in the middle of the desert scrub, where like not very different from where you were in Dubai, but it's in the desert, right? But it's a small bridge. I mean, I don't know. It's maybe 5 times bigger than that, but there ain't not much to it. And the river is like a piece of shit. This is the Jordan River, right? And which is
look at this,
really important, but it ain't nothing. So, I was kind of surprised by how such an incredibly important border. I have so many favorite border crossings, really, but I could just go on and on about
this is like a little tiny creek. I mean, it's cute, but
it's so cute and pretty.
Yeah, but theoretically,
that could be a bridge in rural Ohio.
Really?
No problem.
You have that in Ohio?
Like in a park or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I could see this in a park somewhere.
Like in a state park?
This is an international border, and I've never seen one that looked like, and I get the Schengen Accord. I get that, but I feel like this is how terrorists slip through. This, if you can get into one of these, if you can get into either Spain or Portugal, then you can get into the next one, and then to the next one. If you find weird little crossings like this.
Yeah. Well, it's adorable. It's so cute.
But I feel like it is a national security threat.
My favorite border crossing, because it was the most, the border crossing between, I think now I'm sure that in fact, I know this to be true. There's a bridge now, so it's not that exciting. But when I went to Afghanistan in 01 and in 2000 from Tajikistan, you went by barge. So it was like crossing the river Styx. It's a river.
Oh.
It's a big river, the Pianj River, which ultimately becomes the storied Amu Darya. The Amu Darya, Alexander the Great was told, was the border of the known world, that he would fall off the edge of the earth if he went further than that. The Pianj River between Afghanistan and Tajikistan is in a very scenic place. Anyway, it was like a tractor barge where you had a cable that basically pulls the barge from one side to the other. And it was very odd and very rustic and kind of crazy. Yeah. Anyway, that's how that was.
I find this when I think of international bridges, I think of like the big one from the in Michigan that connects to Canada, that big blue, I forget what the name is. There's
a big about the Ambassador Bridge or the Peace Bridge?
I don't know what it's called.
Well, there's one where it's like basically there was traditionally no border check, and I think it's called the Peace Bridge, and you can just walk across to and fro, and there's no border check.
It's like, but it's a big long bridge. So
where at? Canada and what? Like what
I don't
American city?
It's the most northerly part of Michigan, and where we get all of our like when Trump 1.0.
There's a crossing near Detroit. And
I think
that's a major border crossing into Canada.
Maybe that one. But I know it's blue. I remember I covered a story there, and I remember it was cold.
Very helpful.
The big long blue bridge, and it's cold, and I was there, and I hated my life, and I know that it was causing a problem for Motor City because a lot of car parts were coming from Canada through this one giant bridge. And then somebody they staged like a block out or something of the bridge to, I don't know, whatever, because of Donald Trump. And anyway, that's what I think of. And then I saw this and I was like, oh, Ted's gonna have opinions on this little
No, it's a great little bridge. So
look, they reinforced it with like this metal beam.
I wonder if back in the day, before the EU, was there a checkpoint there? Was it did they check your passport?
At this tiny little, that's what I'm saying. I wonder I don't know. I'd never heard of this little tiny bridge before. And I thought it was a fun little Friday send off. Like, look at this cute little
El Marco.
A little bridge for little Marco Rubio.
Have you ever had a particularly fraught international border crossing?
Well, yeah, I don't have time to get into it with the whole Dubai thing. I was trying to leave Dubai into Germany, and then this whole that whole thing happened with guns and men yelling at me.
You can't leave us hanging with that. You got to tell the story, and then we're gonna go.
No, that I couldn't leave Dubai because like they found out I was like publishing hard, serious stories about them.
So
they nabbed me when I was.
Many countries require an exit visa. Was Dubai is Dubai one of those?
Not traditionally, because I had a visa to live there, so I just go in and out. But they're a little more strict, as Robbie likes to call them. They're a serious country, and they don't have freedom of the press. And they found out I was publishing some serious stuff about.
Although it didn't apply because you weren't publishing it there, yeah.
I was publishing it on the interwebs,
right,
on a blog,
which is not really their business,
right? You would think, but the bottom line, Ted, is there is no freedom of the press. And anyway, I was nabbed and held at gunpoint for many hours, and the rest is history, and I'm not allowed to go back. But
wait, you're persona non grata?
Oh yeah, I'm a wanted criminal if I go there. Like, oh yeah, because
that's exciting.
My publishing.
Do you think they might have forgotten and it's all forgiven now?
No. It's too long of a story to get into, but the short answer is no. And I would like one day to try to fix my personal diplomatic relations there. But I assume it wouldn't be until after Sheikh Mohammed passes
I guess you'd probably
crown.
have to go to Washington, go to the embassy and talk.
Probably. I wouldn't assume it would. I would be kosher there. Probably bad pun using kosher. But anyway, my relationship there would not be good until probably after Sheikh Mohammed passes, and he passes the torch to Hamdan, Prince Hamdan, who is around my age and would probably there, because ultimately the royal family does rule things, and they set the guidance on how things are done. But anyway,
it's good to be, what is it, Emir?
No, they're sheikhs. Emir is Qatari, and that's strictly a Qatari.
There's a few other countries that have emirs too.
Like, yeah, but the Gulf states, well, those Gulf states.
Brunei has a sultan.
I know.
They're not the sultans of swing.
That's
Dire Straits. All right, one more ad. Looking for smarter ways to browse and enjoy your favorite content without ads? Get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium for just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st, normally a $29.99 value. With Rumble Premium, you'll get an ad-free viewing experience across all your devices and access to exclusive premium content, no interruptions, just the video and streams you love anytime, anywhere. Plus, Perplexity Pro boosts your productivity with unlimited research, unlimited uploads, exclusive member perks, and access to the latest and most advanced AI models for faster, smarter answers every day. Save over 30% on this powerful bundle. Head to rumble.com/premium prior to December 31st to sign up and unlock your premium experience. But, by the way, Manila, before I let you go, back on Deprogram a couple days ago, one of the viewers complained that I read the ads too quickly.
That you read too fast?
Yeah.
Is it a New Yorker thing? Because you guys talk fast?
Well, I mean, who would complain about the ads going by more quickly?
I don't know. That is kind of strange. That's true. Good point. Yeah. All right. Well, that does it for us for the weekend. We are getting our hours in because we are planning to take the last, like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and the day after Christmas off. I think something like that, Ted, right? Or not Christmas Eve. Maybe
we haven't talked about it. Let's figure it
out.
But
we do have to hit all of our marks and stuff, and then of course New Year's Eve and New Year's Day or something, because it's Thursday, Friday. So we're going to take those last 2 Thursdays and Fridays off. Okay. If you guys look at your calendar. So we're just letting you know ahead of time. We won't be there because it's holiday. So yeah, Christmas Day and day after Christmas. Christmas Day falls on a Thursday, and then New Year's Day falls on a Thursday. So those,
so it's really a
we're
Wednesday.
Making up our hours.
So it's really our Thursdays will be off. But it makes more sense to do Wednesday, Thursday than to do Thursday, Friday off, because nothing really happens on the Friday, the 26th, Boxing Day.
No, because it just leads into the weekend. And then if anyone's traveling or whatever, and no one's around because everyone takes Boxing Day off. It's like Black Friday.
But wait, more people want New Year's Eve off than they want January 2nd off. No one wants January 2nd should be a real work day.
I think traditionally it is.
But you're right. There's always a linkage with the weekend.
Yeah, I always think it's best.
If you work in a normal office or whatever.
Yeah, I always think it's best to you have make it a long weekend if you can, because then you can travel. Or if you have family coming, then you're not rushing
enough to want to travel during those holiday weekends.
Yeah, but Ted, you love to travel, so
yeah, I know. But I'm
even on little short.
I'm a counterintuitive traveler. You will find me at home at times like that. I go in weird times, like one time. You'll love this. I was looking for really cheap ways to go to wherever, and I blundered across a $300 flight to Beijing via
what?
But it was in the depth of February when no one wants to go. It snows in fucking China, in northern China in February. So I got to go to China for a song. on
Wait,
Northwest.
on a
the old
round
Northwest
trip?
round trip.
Get out.
Yeah, it was amazing. And no one was there. By the way, it was an amazing trip because, yes, it was snowing. And by the way, back then the Chinese were still on bikes and stuff. And like they bike in like a foot of snow on regular bicycles. They're fucking maniacs. And they do a great job too.
Wow. That's
They're
impressive.
animals. It's like fucking 25 degrees out. The wind's blowing around. They're like, we don't care. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, it's, I think a lot of people, because of kids and stuff, a lot of people link into the weekend.
School is like the main thing. There's no working around that. Once you have a kid, you're locked into all the expensive everything.
Yes. Like, oh God. Well, I got in trouble, Ted, because, they tried to get me in trouble. Last thing I'll say about travel is when we went to Iceland in March this year, so we took the whole week off, right? And I obviously gave my son a note. It's not like my kindergartner was fucking ditching class, right? Like he's out in the back alley, like, hey, you want to see what I got under my jacket here? Like he's fucking kindergartner. So I wrote a note, said we're traveling. We're going out of country this week or whatever. This is an excused absence. They denied his excused absence.
Why?
I don't know why. And then I literally got a phone call lecture from.
You know what? I have recollection of something similar like that, where I took my kids somewhere, and it was someplace pretty fucking interesting.
I got a great deal, Ted.
And I remember telling
why we went.
And I remember telling, I remember, yeah, it was Bali, and they were like, no, he's not excused from like fucking whatever middle school. And I'm like, I think he's gonna fucking see more in Indonesia of import than what he's gonna see in your shitty little middle school. Like,
right,
what the
this is a fucking kindergartner. We took a giant family trip.
Babysitting.
I know
it's not real school.
They're sitting on a rug.
Sorry, kindergarten educators. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but they're sitting on a rug and like clapping hands and singing songs. Like
yeah, they're playing with Lincoln logs or whatever the fuck they do now. Yeah,
and coloring and learning to stay in the lines. Like okay, but we took a big family trip, right? And there was like 8 of us, right? And we got a killer deal because we went at this off time in March. So
by the way, there's some breaking news that you're going to laugh at. This is a long show. We really have to go, but this is my fault. But I take full responsibility. I usually blame you for these long shows, but this is my fault. So this is what. So there's lawsuits. The National Trust is suing Trump over his ballroom. He's like, you're desecrating.
I don't even know what the National Trust is.
The National Trust is like basically this federal agency / organization that is in charge of our national patrimony to make sure, for example, no one looks at the Liberty Bell and thinks, hey, let's patch up that crack, or nobody
weird,
basically doesn't fuck with our national shit. Like no one takes no one accidentally knocks into the Washington Monument or something. So like
weird. Okay.
So basically they're saying you fucked up the White House, and you're not allowed to fuck up the White House more by putting this gross giant ballroom that's bigger than the White House itself on the grounds. So
they're suing him right now?
Yeah, for fucking up our American patrimony. Trump.
Suing personally? Oh, or suing the government? How does this work?
Well, let's see here. I will tell you. This is breaking right now on the Associated Press. He was sued by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. You've heard of that.
I've heard
by preservation is seeking an architectural review and congressional approval for the ballroom. It says that until there are comprehensive design reviews and public comments and Congress signs off on it, this violates the Administrative Procedures Act and the National Environmental Policy Act and exceeds Trump's constitutional authority by failing to seek congressional approval for a major project of this scale.
Congressional?
They're going to win.
Congressional?
The president's not a king. He can't just fucking tear down a big section of the White House and fuck with it.
Robbie brought up a good point. But they don't mind people tearing down war memorials.
Yeah, where were they when when history is being torn apart and just destroyed like a bunch of vandals?
That's true.
They could have sued. I mean, look, just because it's sort of like
they didn't. See, that's
but they didn't.
Robbie,
that's the point. That's the point.
It's the same argument. Like you probably have never been pulled over for speeding, as I have. But when
I have.
Okay, so like when you get
I
pulled over for speeding,
I actually have a funny story about that.
But then you tell, which I want to hear. But then you tell the cop, like, look at that guy. He's going so much faster than me. Why didn't you pull him over? They're like, yeah, but I stopped you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. No. So my speeding story, I was going down to this little town called Lima, Montana. It's in the southwest corner of the state, right there next to Idaho. It's in spitting distance.
Okay.
Well, it's Montana. I was going 100 on the speed, and I got pulled over by a
legal.
As you do.
Yeah, but there's no one.
Yeah, but what if you hit a moose or something? A moose steps out in front of you.
Well, then I beat Jesus and all is forgiven. So
you and the moose would be working it out in heaven, right?
100%. But anyway, I got pulled over.
The moose becomes your pet, by the way, in heaven for all of eternity, if that happens. You live together in harmony.
That, or I get one of those sweet little Chicago steaks. Thank you, by the way, for them sponsoring.
I want to see. Does the moose have like little angel wings and a little halo? That'd be cute.
I don't know how that would work. But anyway, I got pulled over, and I had just got finished shooting. So me and a good friend of mine, his name was Jake, and so I had pistols in the passenger seat of the car. I had rifles in the back seat.
Montana.
So the cop comes up, and I just have my hands right there on the wheel. So I said, I pulled you over? I said, yes, sir, I do. And so just want to let you know, got guns all over the truck. And he said, yeah, I can see this. You're having some fun. So, oh yeah, we found some old abandoned silver mines from back in the old pioneering days. So we were hunting bear. Didn't find any bear, but we did find some raw silver. But he was just like, oh, that's nice. So we started talking shop about the guns, and the guy just let me go.
Yeah, that can happen.
Now, if I had been, in Illinois or somewhere, they probably would have shot me out there on the side of the road. But here in Montana, they just started talking shop with the cop. Oh, that's nice. Is that Jericho? I said, oh yeah. I handed him the gun. He started looking at it.
Pulled over by cops all the time because I drove a '66 Plymouth Barracuda, and the cops, I got used to it because they were like, they didn't want to. They wanted to know about the car. They're like, is that the 273 small block? Is that the V8? Is that the V6? Like, they loved the car.
And Robbie, thank you for finding the bridge for me. The bridge that I was talking about that I remember in my memory is called the Blue Water Bridge between Port Huron, Michigan, and Point Edward and Sarnia, Ontario.
Is Port Huron like up north, like an Upper Peninsula, or is that
upper? Upper. I think
Upper Peninsula.
I think it's by the thumb of the.
Okay, so that's not Upper Peninsula.
The left thumb?
You know how Michigan is divided into two weird things.
Yeah, of the mitten.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget which way the mitten is.
There's another section that everyone forgets about. The Upper
Peninsula. The little sprinkling. I don't remember exactly, but I remember the bridge, and I remember it was very long and skinny and blue. That's all I remember of it, and cold as hell.
So to your point, Robbie, your point is taken. What enforcement agencies choose to pursue and what they don't pursue is obviously political.
I mean, if you're going to defend history, you should defend history, and if you don't, you're a cuck.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it's not equally applied. I would say this is a shitty. I
don't understand what took so fucking long, though. I mean, he tore down the East Wing like months ago.
Right? It's been like 2 months, like torn down. Like I don't know. Either way, I think it's a shitty lawsuit. I think it's part TDS, and they just,
I think it's a good lawsuit because, quite frankly, that ballroom shouldn't be the size that it is.
Well, yeah, but what did they even get rid of on the East Wing that they tore down?
I don't care about the East Wing. I care about the size of the ballroom. I think the president's entitled to have a ballroom. I think I can see why you need one.
You receive guests.
It shouldn't be, like, by definition.
I agree. Scale.
It's called the White House. The White House should be the most prominent building at that property.
It's the scale.
That's all I'm saying. Right?
No, I agree. Maybe the scale is too big. It's like when,
like in Gilligan's Island, it's not and the rest and Gilligan,
right?
I mean, it's like Gilligan's the main point. It's his island
and the rest.
I mean, personally, I think what they should do is just build a new presidential palace and turn the current White House into a museum. That would be
Oh my
smart.
God.
The White
Don't
House
even
is
get that
obsolete
started.
and too
Yeah.
small, probably, and
It is.
old. Yeah.
Don't even get that
It
just
should
started.
be
build
updated
build
for
a new one.
fiber optic wire and all that stuff. That's true.
And get a real skiff in there and real like war room and real
Yeah.
like I've
Although
been
I
in there.
think-
I've been in the West Wing.
Although it does
and
have like Dick Cheney's secret undisclosed location underneath, right? So
In Hill.
Probably.
Yeah.
Look, I've been Ted, have you
That's
been
not
in the West
secret.
Wing?
Yeah.
I've been in the West Wing. It's surprisingly unimpressive.
Yeah.
It's like very underwhelming.
Not as unimpressive as like number 10 Downing Street, but yes.
Oh, I've not been there. I mean, I've seen the outside of the door, but I've not been in. But that's just a townhouse, 10 Downing.
Yeah, exactly my point. Yeah.
It's just like a skinny townhouse.
It's not the
right?
Champs-Élysées where, man,
No.
all of the French buildings, holy shit.
I know. That's different.
Well, Trump obviously likes all things Roman. That's why he wants to build his new Arc of Triumph. So, I mean, what would make... So, I mean, if you want to go along that theme, then just build yourself a replica of the either the Imperial Palace in Constantinople or the Palpatine Palace on Palpatine Hill.
I would recommend doing something completely new and like really 21st century, like something that to get like one of our best architects from the 21st century and let them go wild and let them do their thing.
You mean like
I'm
dude
tired of
modern?
always pulling things back. I don't know. Maybe it's modern, maybe it's not. But I'm saying, like, let's have some creativity.
But we never build anything now that looks good. All of our new buildings look like crap. It's all Soviet. It's all gray.
No, it's not Soviet. It's not as good as Soviet. It's really cool.
Well, it looks Soviet. It's just not built well. I mean, modern architecture sucks. That's a different story. But
yeah, that's true.
Look, I don't know what they got rid of, but to Ted's point, I do agree scale wise, maybe it shouldn't be bigger than the footprint of the White House. So maybe that's how they settle the lawsuit is like, fine, what if we trim it back, we scale it back and
then
have
to
a
Trump's
nice
point, what's the point? Because
So-
it's not going to be big enough to make a difference. So yeah. This is like putting a mother-in-law cottage outside of your house on your little, on your acre of land, and the mother-in-law cottage is like 5 stories high.
No, I mean, seriously,
mother-in-law mansion.
Yeah, hear me out.
Mother-in-law
Seriously.
mansion.
So southeastern DC is the crime-ridden part that's just really infested and sucks, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Then expel all the people from there, tear it all down, and build your complex there.
Well, you don't have to tear it down. You just,
Sure you
you
do.
only need a small part of it.
No, listen.
No,
man,
you don't
go
understand
big or go home.
where the White House grounds.
You're saying
are
do what
really
they did to
big,
the
Robbie.
Upper East Side of Manhattan after World War II
No.
with urban
No,
renewal,
no.
where they tore
Wipe
down
it
all
out.
the slums.
Robbie,
Tear
the white.
everything
Let me
down.
tell you, the
Okay.
White House grounds, like the lawns, are much bigger than you can probably imagine. Like they have plenty of room to build something modern on the existing property without having to relocate all the security points that are around it, everything around the ellipse, and there's a lot of
It's
White
true
House
that
property.
The White
is
House could
big.
be. You could build a big back to it. You know what I mean?
It's big, like the White House land. Like
by the way,
property,
the White
land
House
it
is
sits on
completely
big.
modeled on a small French country mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very small and very underwhelming.
Which is, by the way, not white.
And when you go inside, it's even less whelming. Like I could put my arms out in some of the hallways, like, and touch the walls. Like, I'm not a big girl. I can reach some of the hallways with my fingertips. Like, it's
the White House
very underwhelming.
Well,
it wasn't
people
white
lived
originally
smaller
anyway.
back then.
The White House, the only reason it's
that's
white
true.
is because it was painted white to hide the burn marks from when the British burned
From
it.
1812.
So
yeah.
if they're going to build something, they have a lot of land that they can actually, if they want to rebuild, they technically can without
Make that
having to
to-
relocate different
Well,
grounds.
honestly,
So
isn't
I
the
don't know what-
Washington
I think the
Monument
lawsuit
like
is shitty.
tipping like the Tower of Pisa? It's kind of like
they've
listed,
been on the inside, like what do they
trying to
call
shore
it?
it up.
Yeah, like trying to make sure it doesn't tip over.
I
And
think maybe just tear that down because it's really kind of incredibly unimpressive.
It's
and
just
not,
this ugly phallic
not good
symbol that
looking at
sticks
all.
up in the middle of the city.
That's a lot of land in the ellipse that you could use for the new presidential palace.
We cannot call it a presidential palace. Why does Emmanuel Macron live in a presidential palace?
Because France is a monarchy.
Right.
I mean, that's why. I mean, the United States was founded
They're
as
not
a republic.
now.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, you have 1,000 years of history of having a king. You don't
True.
just.
That's
I mean,
true.
you don't, I mean, you just don't throw that
don't
away.
tear down everything. I mean, look
That's
at the communists moved into the Kremlin, right? I mean,
yeah.
They
the Kremlin's beautiful.
The new regime always keeps all the old shit.
Yeah, it's cheaper that way, but I don't know. I think fine. I think the lawsuit's dumb. I think they settle it this way. Just Trump says, "Fine, I'll make it a little bit smaller and less gaudy."
I think Trump was insane to ever think he was going to get away with such a giant building.
Well, look, he got rid of the Rose Garden. I've been there, and I agree with it. He put down a marble patio.
That's wrong. I mean, the Rose Garden with Jackie O, anything that involves Jackie O stays.
Why?
Yeah, but back
she's
then,
Jackie O.
why?
She's a fucking god.
But, no, look, back then, women, for example, were not journalists. So women's heels, you have no idea. Like my heels, like you're sinking into the fucking Rose Garden. Like how you can't go chasing after officials for a soundbite.
Wear white sneakers like all the other working girls.
All the men are like walking fine in their black sneakers.
Yeah, get those hokas.
So, and yeah, everyone here does wear hokas. But yeah,
What's a hoka?
He already did that.
It's
a shoe brand.
I have plantar fasciitis.
So it's just a tennis shoe?
It's a popular sneaker.
It's just a tennis shoe, but it's like got great arch support. So basically it's got amazing arch support, but they last about 3 months and then you have to get new ones.
What?
Yeah, they don't last long.
Yeah. So instead of buying hookahs, I get 1775 coffee, which is here in my cup. The dark roast.
By the way, take note of my
Montana.
My Montana mug.
Is that a tin one, Ted?
Yeah, it's great. A tin cup is fantastic.
That's cool.
It's ceramic tin, old school, and it holds the heat really well. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like those. Anyway, so that does it for us on our way over time.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will work on eventually bringing on the phone calls, as Robbie,
Listen, it's super easy to do. To be honest with you, it's easier to do a premium episode live than it is doing a pre-tape. It is so much easier.
Okay.
It is 1,000 times easier. And so if that's something people want to do, now to do that,
so we can do that live with phone calls.
Yeah, that's what we just did. Yeah. And it was so fun.
But now for it to be a premium show, so we're not just talking to ourselves, it would be open to either people who subscribe to Rumble Premium or who are $5 a month subscribers to the show. If you do in one of those things, you can access it. That's super easy to do.
Well, we'll talk about that. Okay. And leave us comments, whatever you guys think about that, about with the phone calls and how to do it and how to handle it. Because we're trying to figure out what that formatting would look like, and we would love your input. So anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Going into the weekend, stay safe. Adios, amigos. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye all.
Bye everybody.
Bye, Manila.